Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of ESTV and another episode of Earth Science Learning. We already know about mass and weight, and we know how to measure mass on this triple beam balance. This instrument's a little different. It's also called a balance, but you can see it's very much like a seesaw. It has two pans, and we can place objects on each one, and just by looking, see which one has more mass, just like it would be on a seesaw. If you got on a seesaw with someone with more mass than you would go up in the air, and they would be farther down by the ground. Let's check it out. A model of a dinosaur right there. Another dinosaur model here. And we can see, after it settles out, they come extremely close to balancing. Looks like they have just about the same mass, which of course we would expect. They're the same size, they have the same mass. Let's take some other objects. How about that dinosaur? We'll place another dinosaur on this pan. And you can see it doesn't balance. And I'm sure nobody is surprised. This dinosaur model here is much bigger, therefore it must have more mass than this smaller model does. So how about we think of mass, we already know, is a measure of the amount of matter an object contains. Let's think of it as counting up the molecules. It's really the same thing. How many molecules are in each one? This bigger one clearly has way more molecules than this one does. Let's put these to the side. Got a big giant object there on that pan. Here we've got a much smaller object. Whoa! This smaller object must have more mass. It doesn't even balance. In fact, it has way more mass than this larger one. And what you're thinking now is the correct thing. Imagine how the molecules are packed in here. This one must have a whole bunch of molecules packed very tightly together. This one, even though it's larger, must have molecules spread very far apart. And here's where your memory banks are working and you're thinking, I've heard of this before. This is density, and that's exactly what this is. We're going to have a few lessons and experiments and some great stuff Mr. Lambert's going to show us on one of his film productions. It's a challenge for you to do at home, all related to density. Density is very important, not just for objects on a pan and things in your kitchen, but it's going to help us explain many things with weather and tornadoes and hurricanes. It's going to help us explain, believe it or not, volcanoes and earthquakes and the structure of the earth, and many things depend upon density. It's a very simple idea, but a very important idea. So again, think of it as how the molecules are packed in any object at all. As a matter of fact, please have your notebook ready. And write this down. Stop the film and write this down. When you've written it in your notebook, you may start the film up again. Thanks for starting back up. Just like we saw in what we'll now call the styrofoam, where the molecules are really spread apart, and the iron cube, where they're packed real tightly together, let's please make this diagram in our notebook. If you got your cool different colors, that's awesome. If not, no worries. We'll notice the green circles all represent molecules. And we have a mental picture now of what it means for the molecules in something more dense and something less dense. We'll ask you again to stop the video while you're copying this diagram. And when you're all set to go, start the video up again. Simple idea of density. We'll have a few practice examples with it. And please remember, if you understand density, you'll understand a whole lot of things in earth science. We have one more thing for you to write down in your notebook, and then you can proceed with what the assignment is. Please make sure this is written in your notebook. That's it for the video, everybody. Continue with the assignment, please.